Hi and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about writing. Writing is screenplay. And for context, I'm Munta and I've spent 16 days writing a screenplay. Screenplay it's not really a screenplay, that's like a good screenplay or like a spectacular screenplay. Like not a spec screenplay. I thought spec screenplay means spectacular screenplay. But it means speculative screenplay by the way. So yeah, today I'm going to tell you the exact tips and tricks that I use to finish a screenplay in 16 days. So tip number one, you need to have a vision. You need to have a title. So if you want a video about how I come up with ideas for my screenplay, just comment down. Sorry. Let's just assume that you have a title for your screenplay and you have an idea about what you want to talk about in your screenplay. The next thing is to come up with a log line. Yes, you need to come up with something that gives you the direction about how your story should flow. The log line consists of like it gives us details about our protagonist, our antagonist, our protagonist's goal, and the stakes behind that goal. So my screenplay was titled Sempiternal Joy, and I have the log line for Sempiternal Joy. It says, after warning and constant supervision from the social service, a drug addict must join a support group in a church to prevent her son from being taken into the care of social services. Simple. A simple log line can help you because I'll give you a tip. While I was writing, I don't want to really give you like detailed information about my screenplay, but I will just say it. While I was writing and I got to the middle section of my screenplay and it was like I was drifting away from the main reason or the main direction of the story. The story is about a woman trying to save her son from being taken away from her. And this woman meets a man at the church when she goes and blah blah blah. And this man is married and a whole lot of stuff. I started writing the story about the relationship or that rivalry between this my main character who is called Amanda and this woman or the wife of this new man that she has met. No, that's not what the story was about. And when I just quickly noticed that, I just took it away. So yeah, you need to have a log line. Okay. So tip number two, you need to have a fixed time to write. What do I mean by that? You can write at any time of the day that you want, but this is your first feature film, and we really don't want to get caught up in oh procrastination. You don't want to be like, oh, all right, this evening comes and I'll push it to tomorrow. No, we just want a fixed time to write. So luckily for me, and unfortunately for me too, I don't have a laptop. This laptop is for my mom, by the way. She normally sends it to work, and the only time I could get it was during the evening. So when she comes home during the evenings, I ask her for it, and then I use it to write in the evening. So for me, writing in the evening was suitable for me. Even if it was unsuitable for me, it was something I had to adjust to because early in the morning I learn, in the afternoon I go for extra classes. I'm on vacation by the way, and mid afternoon or during the late afternoon I write songs. I'm also a singer songwriter. So and then script writing comes in the evening. So yeah, you need to have a fixed time. What time works for you? Are you more active and creatively inspired in the morning? Then go for it. If you are creatively inspired in the afternoon, go for it. And you need to know where to write. I normally write in my room. I just write in my room and nowhere else. Okay, so tip number three is kind of like subjective. To me, I would prefer not to outline. Like outlining is really, really subjective. I've heard a lot of pro screenwriters say they don't outline before they start writing a screenplay. Others say they need an elaborate detail about their screenplay before they start writing. For me, I feel like when I outline or when I if I should write a detailed analysis of something, I don't feel the fun to write it again. So yeah, I'm not really hooked on that material again. But I like journaling. So what I did before writing some personal joy was that I just wrote what I just envisioned in my head, like these exact scenes that I knew were going to be there. I just wrote them in my journal. Yes, that was what I did first. So you can outline if that is good for you, and don't outline if it feels like shit to you. Okay. So for the fourth tip, I've heard and I've also watched a lot of screenwriters talk about beat sheets and index cards. I don't know what those things are. So if they work for you, go for them. If they do not, then just join me because I don't really know what they are for. So maybe later down my screenwriting journey, I may need them. But currently now, I don't think I need those things because I'm just trying to write something, and I don't really need beat sheets and index cards. I don't even know what they are, man. I don't know. I don't know what they are. So for tip number 5, you need to walk regularly as a creative person. Like I cannot overemphasize that, even though it feels kind of boring and like cheesy to some people, but like to me and my creative process, I really prioritize working every day because working every day it just opens an array of ideas. You don't even know where they come from. It feels like they're falling from the sky, like some kind of magic is happening. I write songs, I write screenplays, I write plays. Like currently, I'm working on a play. I write poems too. Like man, it just opens an area of ideas for you to just come up with. And I had a lot of ideas for writing songs and also for some personal joy from just walking. So you need to try walking. People like great people like Mozart, great people like Nick Cave have talked about how walking and then just riding about in their carriages. Mozart said he was riding in a carriage when he had those type of ideas, when he had those ideas, like good ideas coming out of him. He didn't know whether they were coming into him or they were coming out of him, whatever. So yeah, you need to prioritize working as part of your creative process. It's not that, and mind you, it's not that you are walking away from your creative process just to have a break, but the works are part of your creative processes. Okay, so I have two bonus tips for you, and the first bonus tip is listening to music while writing. Also, this is also like it's like a subjective thing to do. It's very subjective. I've watched interviews of screenwriters. They'll be like, anything that has rhythm sets them off, and other screenwriters are like, anything with rhythm sets them in. And for me, I kind of like 50-50 in that because sometimes some songs just make me feel reluctant. I just put one leg on my on my chair and then I'm just writing. By the time I realize I've spent 1 hour writing just one page. So you really need to understand yourself and know which songs do it for you. Like for me, slow, sad songs work for me, and I cannot overemphasize the number of sad songs I played while I was writing some eternal joy, and they really helped me. And also the last bonus tip I want to give you is this is not gonna be your best screenplay. Like some eternal joy is not my best screenplay, even though stuff, I've written other works before where I was 10, 11, down to 14 last year. I was just writing plays. I didn't know they were plays. I called them films, even though they were plays because I saw in one of my books. One of my books, it was I saw Act One, Scene One, and I just adapted that same thing to writing my own stuff. But I never knew that that was like the standard format for a play. So back to the tip is that this is not going to be your best work. What I've written, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to check for the story structure problems, and I'm going to do. But before I'm going to rewrite that screenplay, I'm going to write something else. So maybe if I should write that, I may be a better writer to come back and polish that work up. So yeah, you need to Don't put yourself on the like. I'm kind of a perfectionist too, and I cannot overemphasize how I really thought 70 Job had to be perfect. No, it didn't have to be a perfect piece. I just needed to start with something. My friends still loved it, so yeah. You are just supposed to just go on with it and at least come up with something that you are proud of. Because honey, let me tell you something. You're going to get to a place where you're writing, you'll be like, oh yes, I'm writing the best screenplay. Because while I was writing, I got to the end of when I got to the end of the screenplay, I already had my whole end figured out. Like I always know the like ironically, I always know the end of my story before the beginning. All of the works I did before, but it's like all of the works I did before, I really know the ending. And for this, while I was writing the ending, I was just writing. I was like, oh yes, this is gonna win original screenplay at Oscars. Why? That is there's like a 99% chance of that not happening at all. But I really, really felt like this is something really good. So just try and write and don't care about what other people think of you because you're going to get a lot of criticism. You're just supposed to find the good friends who can help you still go through all your endeavors. So yeah, those are all my tips for you.